There's a fast descent from Kharkiv.
I can start. I'm Gennady. I'm with Reading
overhanging
for a
trees,
few years and
which will
been
be
racing for
great
Reading
sunglasses on.
2 or 3 years. So this is had 3. This is my first road race of the year, so I haven't been racing much, but yeah, I was really looking forward to that start.
Yeah, and I'm Emma. I'm also with Reading Club. I lived in Reading for a few years, but I raced with them, and I started racing last year. And this was my 3rd road race overall, and done a few races this year already, cut free, and yeah, I was looking forward to this. So one thing, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the camera facing forwards. So this is probably a lead out or the first lap. So we've done 8 laps that day. I was pretty much conserving energy, just sitting in the back, saving myself for the sprint. So that was my goal for the race. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but I knew that my legs were not very strong. So this was my plan.
Yeah, and this is my camera from the back beneath my saddle, and my plan was exactly the opposite of what Gennady just said. My plan was to be in the front, try potentially to go in a move, or at least bring back any moves if one went without any of us, because we had a team of 6. There were also other couple of clubs with 6 people. I think London Dynamo had 5 or 6, and Swindon had 5 or 6. So there was potential for a lot of team games to be played at the front, and I wanted to be there. Also was there mainly with Alex and Yusuf. Yusuf also said he wanted to potentially play similarly to Gennady, but then he ended up trying to go in this as well. So, yeah, it was fun, but I definitely wasn't racing conservatively. So here we are coming. I think this is the first time up the hill, like going into the hill. Yes, exactly. So this is lap 1, I think. And as you can see, I was there in the front. The first couple of reps of the hill went fine. Actually, as soon as the race started, I made sure I was already up there from the neutral zone, because a few weeks back when we did the London Dynamo race, I was too far back in the neutralized start, and when the flag dropped, I was too back to even just react to anything that might have happened. So this time I said, okay, I'm gonna be up there, just as close as possible to the car, and I was 3rd or 4th wheel, and then I could react to some moves. There is a ride there who was just stands out for me. Is I don't know his name. Doesn't race for any particular club. I think you can see him throughout the footage. He's got a white TT suit on a white Specialized, and he is super strong throughout the race. He's always there trying to initiate moves of following. I think he raced the entire race in P5, around there, in the front all the time. And he's still, despite spending so much energy, he probably would have come top 5 or top 10. But he had a puncture in the last, halfway through the last lap, so he didn't play out for the sprint. But yeah, he was so strong. We tried to get moves going together, just nothing would go. There you are.
This is me on the right hand side, and with Lewis in the middle.
Yeah, you guys were chilling right there.
Yeah, just chilling, feeling. But yeah, if I had better legs, then I would probably be up front. And that's actually what I've done a year ago, and only lasted 5 laps. So I just completely hopped on the 5th ascension of Carter's Hill. So this year I decided to race differently, and it paid out. So I made it to the finish. I was up there when on the finish straight line. But yeah, we can talk about the finish a bit later.
42 42k an hour, I think.
Yeah, I think I averaged 43.
Yeah. Yeah, 3-4. Yeah. But some guys there definitely not. Engine-wise, they're not 3-4. That's for sure. It's just the points. Maybe they're not able to progress because they haven't accrued enough points, but they're definitely not necessarily cut free engine. Yeah. So how did you find the first few laps of the hill? I think the second lap was maybe the fastest of the entire race. How did you find? I found that it was hard because again a brake was trying to get established. But if you were inside the bunch, I found that the hill was doable, like in the draft, even if people were trying to stretch it up at front. It was only until the end when like my legs ran out a bit and I was sliding back.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the Carter's Hill was the hardest part, as expected, because people were trying to descend it there, and realistically, this is pretty much the only time in the race where you could get a gap. But it wasn't, it wasn't like too hard. Definitely. First like 4 laps were intense, and I wasn't on the limit, but I was close. But it noticeably slowed down from lap 5, so it was typically chilling. And I just was having a chat with some guys. On lap 5, 6. But yeah, definitely, if you could survive first 4 laps, then you could last for.
Yeah, and we saw that just earlier in the footage, the start-finish straight, while here we are again turning towards the hill in this lap 2 or 3. This was the fastest lap of the race. And yeah, so I was saying earlier, the start-finish straight was a very long stretch of road. We'll see it later on in footage again. And you could see far ahead, and that was a good chance to move up the bunch. On a couple of occasions I was maybe middle of the pack on the hill, then it would string out again in the downhill, and then when it came again on the start-finish straight, because it was a headwind, it would slow down a bit, so it was a good chance to move up. And I think you can see in the footage when I do move up, because I have the camera underneath my bike, then you can see a few people following me around and using me as a shield to kind of move up the bunch when it's a bit less fast. And because then normally again people will try and go after the first corner, after the finish line, the left hand corner, so they will try to go again. So here we go again. Yeah, so this is end of the second lap, and here we come to the junction, left turn, and this is usually when people will try and string it out again.
It's interesting that my tactics and how I approached the race was very, very different to you, because because I was sliding backwards on the Carter's Hill, but I knew it's okay as long as I don't lose the contact with the bunch, because I'm descending down the church lane pretty fast, and I was always making my positions up that second.
Yes, likewise,
right. And I was just doing it without spending much energy. And I knew that the bunch would slow down by the time we get to the motorway.
Yes, it always slowed down there.
Yeah, so it was a kind of, I didn't see how you can actually get away from the bunch, because it was very fast down the descent, very, very fast. So even if you have a few seconds gap after the cut, then the bunch easily catch you, and then it just slows down. It's blocked headwind on the finish straight, the draggy uphill. So it was really challenging day for people to get away if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yes. A couple of people did try to launch it in the headwind again, close to the after the finish line into the corner. I was on the wheel. It was nice because I got quite on the limit in the first or second lap. I spent a lot of energy trying to close a couple of attacks, and then it was nice because then I just shifted back into the bunch, recovering again, and then by the time you move up before the finish line into the left corner, then I was ready again to follow the next few moves. So yeah, you see here Yusuf in my rear cam and Alex just behind. And on a couple of occasions when I was at the front but just too gassed to follow anything and a counter move would go, they would follow. So that was really good team play from us. And when I saw them going, it was really nice. Well, it was good for me to know that I don't have to follow that again. I can just let the wheel go and they are in the move, so it's not my problem. And the other teams would then pass me and follow, and then I was able to just shuffle back in the bunch and recover. And we did that on a couple of occasions. There was one lap where Alex, who is very light, went up the hill, and I think he crested the hill first. Again, I was kind of thereabouts, and I just saw him go, and not that I could have followed, but yes, he went. And as I said, I couldn't really have followed even if I wanted to, but yeah, you see here this guy in the white kit, he was really strong. There we go, just going into the hill. It's also Tom, who came 4th overall, I think, which is really impressive. For a while he was dangling off the front. We tried to go on brakes, but again, nothing would go. I think too many teams, ourselves included, that wanted to go in a breakaway, and so everything.
Yeah, I tried to grab portal a couple times, but never succeeded. It's actually much harder than you think, because because people are attacking on that stretch of road and it's quite flat, so I don't know how fast we're going, but it could be up to 35, 40 kilometers maybe, easily. So yeah, it requires some skills. I think I need to practice that part.
Yeah, I never tried. I saw you, I think on a couple of times I passed very close to you, Rod, but I just decided not to even try the bottle. But I had enough in my bottle, but also I wasn't sure of the catastrophe that I could have caused. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a moment actually on the very first lap when Alex lost both of his bottles.
Oh yeah.
And he was just, surfing the bunch, asking people if we can share drink, basically. But I think you
he asked me
in the race. So yeah, Lewis had 2 bottles and he passed on one to Alex, which is teamwork. Makes it great work.
Yeah, he asked me too, but I only had. First, I didn't understand what he said because we were going too fast. And then when I realized he was asking me for the bottle, I said, no, I only have one. But on the last lap. Okay, so yeah, people were definitely tired because plenty of attacks have been going, but many people had also been sagging, and they were waiting for their moment to pounce. And it got really strung out on the hill, on the last step of the hill. This is me going backwards. I started the hill in 3rd wheel and I ended up last. And now you should see, this is Lewis's wheel. I was able to cling on to him as the last wheel. This is the motorway beacon that he was saying about where it would slow down again. And here we were able to make up a few positions back. And this is funny because there's a moment here where Alex just looks at me. He just turns around next to me, looks at me, doesn't say anything. I don't say anything to him. I give him like a little, no, I don't have it. And then he goes forward. He's able to move up from there. I don't follow him. I don't know why. I don't follow him immediately. And he ends up top like 15 or something, and I end up 26 because he. Yes, exactly. So this is from my view. So you see I'm passing people, but I'm not really making up many spaces. While you'll see here now in the footage, Alex is in the main, he's that white helmet there, it's him. So he started his sprint too early, he said to me. So that's him. Then he fades here and gets past. Yeah, so just earlier in the multiple bridge section, if I passed him, if I followed him, I would have been able to be good enough to see me there running through the line a bit further back. So, yeah, I think another you got top 20.
Yeah, I finished 20th and I was like 5th wheel with 500 meters to go, while Alex was 3rd wheel. But as
you went
said,
too early, right?
Yeah, he went too early. It was draggy, admin sprint, and then one of the guys slotted right in front of me and blew up with like 400 meters to go. He just, he left that sprint effort.
Yeah,
thank you for being with us.
Yeah, next year, absolutely. Better results.